Welcome everyone to Limitless DxT coverage. We've just had Iggy Combo back into the session. Didn't even realise he was gone. We're here at Japan, as you can see there on the left-hand side, for Suzuka, one of the all-time great old-school circuits. We have 14 drivers tonight, not as many as usual. I had a few people back out at the last minute. Got Big Wheel away on his holiday in Barcelona, so he's not here to contend for that title, and it's looking like it's slipping ever more from his grip. I'm here with Lee once again, and looking like a cloudy but dry qualifying session, Lee. There usually always is at Suzuka, to be fair. If anyone could be designated weatherman, potentially Justin or someone like Attic, just put a comment in, because I know Attic said he watches the streams, just what the weather's going to be like. Put a comment, I'll be able to see it on my screen. Got Bugs Bunny out, we've got 3 drivers out already, but not everyone's coming out straight away, Lee. So I kind of hope there's rain, but I don't think it's going to happen. Of course, I didn't even realise, Lee. It's the Honda homage livery. Homage at Japan, which we weren't going to get, but we can get here, so that's quite nice. Blue. Yeah, but you can't have 2. There's already a white car, isn't there? A white. It is. I said this last night to Justin. I don't really like the normal Red Bull livery. It's always like, you could say the same for Ferrari or Mercedes, but arguably they're the one that changes their livery the least. Maybe actually no, maybe Ferrari. Actually no, Ferrari's had a lot of white in recent years. They've had like a lot. Yeah, but it's always that sort of. It was like a purpley shade before, wasn't it? A few years back, and now it's gone to sort of matte purple blue colour. But I like the white anyway. I think it's much better. It would be. I can understand why they're not going to do it full time, but it's a shame. I think we got it for about a month or so, and it's interesting actually. He's saying about AlphaTauri actually probably and Toro Rosso probably changed their livery far more than Red Bull ever has. And talking about AlphaTauri, we're looking to start a lap here with Dr. Wolfgang. Let's just see who the first driver is. We'll get the track map up and all of those telemetries up. We're going to get the tyres. Actually, we'll just have a quick look at what people are on at the moment. They've got 2 drivers on the mediums. Vedran and Justin are doing a medium run for now, but everyone else is on the soft tyres. It stands. Bugs Bunny is just coming under the bridge, and of course it's the only track of a figure of 8 and one of only of probably quite few in the world, I would guess. I'm not a massive expert on racetracks, but or international racetracks, but I think it's got to be one of the only ones, and it's certainly a real big challenge, especially this year, Lee, as the curbs are absolutely deadly. Yeah, I just think the curbs here are much more tricky than a lot of other tracks, but Bugs Bunny seems to handle that lap pretty well with a 29.177 there, and Paige Bosworth coming in with a 1:31.774. I'm going to see these times come down. Wolfgang slots in between the 2 of them. Got Yo-Yo off on the infield, Lee, at the hairpin, just after the 2 Degnis, now going off onto the gravel now for good measure. He needs to be careful not to get himself disqualified. Just let Attics go through. Now comes back to LFI, I think this is his 3rd time back in the Mercedes. We did say earlier he listens to the stream. Leclerc goes second, and actually answer Jason isn't here, but Jason would like me to talk about the standings because he's the man that does the standings every week for Monday and Tuesday, and he's getting awfully excited about this Monday championship because we've got Apex, who is here tonight, obviously in the Alpha Tauri, leading the championship by 101 points. He's the first man to get into the triple figures, but very close behind is Leclerc, who didn't even start the season. I think Apex did, so he's had less races and he's certainly caught up. We do have Big Weir in third, but he's probably going to drop down tonight with 68 points. Vedran is in fourth with 64 points, 62 points for Amit Aguna, who led the championship from the start and is now started to drop back a little bit. We've got Anthony in sixth with 43 points for H. Bosworth as well. He's doing really well this season, I'd definitely say. Trunders is in eighth with 42 points, 38 points for Stinos in ninth, so he's climbing up the standings, and to round out the top 10 is Tabe Pastor, and there's a 5-second penalty there. And Apex Finley's out, Lee. That's fine. Oh dear. Yeah, that's not great. I'm certain that will go to the stewards. And that's really not good for Apex, though, Lee. So he's a championship leader. Oh, Lee, no one can hear you, mate. No, Lee, no one can hear you on the stream. Right, Lee in a second is going to say hello because he's going to sort it out. So no, I'm not talking to myself. I'm not a madman. Stinos has taken provisional pole at the moment, Lee, with the 28.7. You're going to sure to hear him in a second.
I did the Lee hole.
There you go. Can everyone hear Lee? Apex. Yeah, Barry, can you hear him? Can you hear him now, Barry? We're having a second day of mic issues. Apex, what happened with Justin in the? If you want to put that in the comments, buddy. Yeah, Barry said hi, Lee.
Hello.
Pro clubs tonight, Barry. Let's see if that's a yes for that one. Anyway, get back to the. I'm getting more unprofessional as the season's going on. Sorry.
Yeah.
I think it's Lee's fault. We're seeing Amit Aguna. We've had 5 drivers, Lee, into the below the 130. One driver into the 128. He called you a northerner, Lee. Said nice to hear a northerner's voice. That's a bit controversial.
Northerner.
Where you are, technically you're northern, because you're more northern than me.
Yeah.
But not in the way we usually describe it as a northerner. So
Yeah. Yeah, so...
It's like a catch-22, that.
It's true, but it's not. But yeah, let's see. Who else is still on the lap? We got you.
I think Justin, and he says Wolfgang might have been involved in that as well, with potentially being in the way. I couldn't see the whole comment, unfortunately. We are with Yo-Yo at the moment when he's coming down towards Spoon. Oh, I didn't actually see what... Oh, so why are you out, Apex? Did you just crash? I thought you were involved in that in some way. I just see Yo-Yo about to come down to the legendary 130 Harley.
One of my favourite corners on the game.
And into the final because he crashed into the final hairpin. Yo-Yo comes now, and let's see what sort of time he can put on the board. Goes 6th fastest, is 30.7. So there's a big gap to the 129. So there's definitely a top 5 at the moment. Still haven't had Anthony. I say that Anthony's now jumped into the top 5 with a 29.5. There's 3 drivers on a 29.5, Lee.
Oh, jeez.
And we're seeing Attics come across the line, go 7th with a 29.9. So now there's now a top 7 into the 29s. You haven't had Justin do a lap, but of course he's now got to serve a 5-place grid penalty at the start of the race. A little controversial there, potentially, between the two admins, but they've had a week off. They're out of practice. I don't know. And saying that, Justin was actually onto the grass, onto the start-finish straight. I'm sorry, Barry, I didn't see that. All I saw was £20 and my eyes lit up and I didn't concentrate on anything else. This is taking me back to our old Q1 days, Lee. I've got to take this so seriously, and usually Q1s we're not taken very seriously.
No, they weren't. They never were.
No. I missed the Q1 day. Seeing Justin coming around Dunlop curb towards the 2 Degners. Favourite corner on this track, Lee? Is it 130 yard?
Yeah.
It's a pretty easy corner, though.
Yeah, but it's just one good and you just flat out.
What about the 2 Degners? No?
They're good as well. See me spoon.
Yeah, there's a lot. And that hairpin's really good as well. I don't usually like hairpins all that much.
I hate
but
hairpins. I'm always terrible.
Yeah, it's probably one of the trickiest, well, for me personally, one of the trickiest corners to actually deal with. I've never actually thought about what corners I prefer and not really.
It's like love field. Like,
yeah.
I'm not too keen on that because just with
I love that.
Different lines. Cause
that's why terrible. I love it. I love corners with different alternative lines and things. Sorry, we'll just cut back to Justin because he did set a purple sector 2 by the looks. Ooh. And he does go into 6th, so we've got a nice mid-pack here there with really close drivers there actually, all the way from Anthony to Wolfgang is 5/10.
Sorry, alright, just reading the comments there. Let's see. But yeah, still see Anthony has probably done the best lap now, I think.
We have got Stinos on the lap link.
Yeah, it was just with Anthony has done it on. Oh no, wait. Oh no, everybody has set it up on the soft.
Yeah, they're all on the softs.
Mediums there that you'd set it on. For me.
They're all on the soft. Stinos is about to come across the line with 5 minutes to go. Improves 28.40. Smashed it. Absolutely smashed it. The man from the Netherlands and the in the orange car. I'm not sure if he likes McLaren, but I'm sure if he likes the colour orange, he should like the McLaren. As we've still got drivers to come out on track. Amir Guna looks like he's invalidated, but they have got enough time to bail in and are still able to do another lap. And Just Gaming's going to come in his way. He's in 6th, but he's going to drop him almost to the back of the field, Lee, with his penalty. So he's going to have work to do. And Iggy Combo's left the session. If Lee could do his magical wonders, as he always does, potentially, to try and see if he can get Iggy back in, as Justin goes on to a lap. I don't know if I think Amir Gun is setting up to do another lap as we come through turn 1 and 2, which are real quick consecutive corners, and they all sort of merge into one. It's almost like a spoon curve as we come up the hill through the S's, and it's a really tricky sequence of corners. You've got to get the first one right to get all the way to the last one, to get them all really a-okay. And Justin is now invalidated through Dunlop, and he's not going to be too pleased there. 3 minutes and 30 seconds left on the clock. Is he going to have enough time to come in? I don't think so. If he's got enough fuel, he can do another lap, but he's putting a lot of wear on those softs, and qualifying in the top 10, but starting out he's going to be at a real disadvantage being the only driver on the used tyres, of course, because he did qualify in the top 10. We've got drivers out on out laps. We've got 5 in total. We've got 2 potential laps. We've got Amir Green invalidated another lap, so he's really feeling the struggle of Japan. Just came in, is pulled over to the left hand side, I think just letting Yo-Yo pass, but he is on an out lap, so it wasn't all that necessary. I think he's got a nice bit of clear track behind him. It's only Dr. Wolfgang. I hope these two don't get into a spot of bother into this final run. I don't know if Justin's going to be able to do a final run. We'll see if anyone's on a lap. Vedran is on a lap in the Williams. He's had extremely good qualifying pace, Lee, for the whole of the season, but he's somewhat lacked in that race pace. We've got a yellow flag full course. I'm not sure which driver that is that was causing that, as we see Vedran go through the second Degner and almost invalidating around the hairpin now. He's set off a full course yellow, but it's gone back to green and then to yellow. It's all going over the place, Justin. As we've just seen Vedran coming around a spoon curve and now up this. It's a bit of a gradient there, Lee, on that straight there to 130R. It's a little bit of an ascent there.
Mhm. Yeah, it's
gone.
It's a bit of a weird corner sometimes. It's like it reminds me a bit of like Spa. You know, going down into like the valley of like where Eau Rouge is, and then you're back up the hill again a wee bit.
Yeah.
It's just not as drastic.
Is Vedran going for another lap, Lee? Because I don't think he improved there. Potentially, he hasn't got enough time to go and do a cool down lap, so this is all or nothing. I don't think he's on the pace there. We've still got drivers on out lap. Stinos, who is on provisional pole, he's on his out lap. Bugs Bunny as well. We'll go with Leclerc in this lovely white Red Bull. As I said, all for the Japanese Grand Prix that never came to be, but can be in obviously F1 2021 game, and of course here at LFR. And it's a great shame, Lee, that we haven't had this for 2 years now. I do love Japan and Suzuka. It can be a really good race. Obviously you've got classic moments with Atix out of the session. He's retired at turn 1, so he's when we see H. Bosworth is round as well and into the wall at turn 1 as well. We've got Stinos. Go on, sorry.
Wolfgang just got a 5th place grid penalty.
Wonder what that was for. There's a lot of traffic. The checker is out now though, so these guys don't have to worry about traffic from behind on laps. But what have Justin and Dr. Wolfgang done there? That's not great. What was it for, Lee? You can actually check.
It was for collision with who was it again? I think it was Stinos. I'll go and check quickly.
I'm not sure it'd be Stinos because he's
Atix, sorry, Atix. It was a collision with Atix that caused him to get a 5th place grid penalty.
That is a very strange qualifying session, I have to admit, but we're not over yet. Stinos is over though, because he is definitely backed out of his lap. We've only got Bugs Bunny and Bugs Bunny, I think, and maybe Iggy, but I think Iggy's also had an instance. I think we're waiting for Bugs and he doesn't improve. He stays 4th. So Stinos takes pole position. The one lap man, Vedran, usually takes pole position. I say he has really good qualifying pace, but he wasn't able to respond to that first lap, or that previous lap, sorry, that Stinos did. And we've had a bit of controversy in this qualifying session with Atix, Justin and Chris, Dr. Wolfgang, and that's probably going to go to the stewards room. It's interesting that we didn't really catch it, or I didn't catch anyway, any of those incidents?
Yeah, I just went and noticed there. I think Iggy Combo is lagging just a bit there. Just seen him jumping all over the place there. I'm not sure if it was my connection or his, but we'll have to keep a wee eye out for that. But let's see.
If Chris is watching, could you retire, please, buddy? As you're the last man. Because he is seemingly taking it rather slow and now going into the pits.
But on so he'll be starting from 13th place, I think it is.
Yeah, and Justin's going to be a few places ahead of him. So Warren, H. Bosworth, and Yo-Yo will all jump up in, as well as Iggy. Amiaguna is going to jump up a position, as well as Atix. Actually, no, Warren's going to jump up 2 places.
And as we've seen there, Daniel Ricciardo and Sergio Perez all at the back of the grid there.
Yeah, that happens, but it usually happens for a second.
Yeah, that's what it done, like, right then.
So, that is the end of a dramatic qualifying and uneventful at the end in terms of lap time. So Stinos takes pole position once again. Vedran is on the front row alongside Leclerc, is in 3rd. Bugs Bunny is in 4th. Anthony is in 5th. Justin, the first of the penalty takers, is in 6th for qualifying, but will be starting further back. Amiaguna is in 7th. 8th is Atix. Dr. Wolfang takes a penalty as well and will be starting further back, but qualified 9th. Warren is in 10th and is going to move up. H. Bosworth is in 11th. 12th is Yo-Yo. Iggy Combo is in 13th, and Apex, who didn't get a time in and crashed in his first lap, starts 14th and last. And we're still waiting for drivers to ready up, actually. Lee? Hello, Lee, are you there? Well, it looks like the stream's still on. I thought something had happened then. We've had Iggy leave the session again. I'm not sure where Lee's gone.
Had to go to the toilet.
I am streaming live, you know, you didn't have to say that, because you said you're gone. As we're just waiting for the countdown clock, Iggy Combo is left the session again, having issues, I think. Sorry for having the slight lack of grid tonight. Hopefully we can make it a bit better tomorrow, rather than going the other way for the USA Grand Prix. And of course, I'm the USA Grand Prix on Sunday, and that, of course, will be just after SSR. Obviously, we thought we might have to peg that back, but it is 8 o'clock UK time for the USA Grand Prix. Right, Lee. So Dr. Wolfang is starting at the back. It's an AlphaTauri back row. We've got Iggy Combo, who has obviously jumped a position. We've got H. Bosworth and Warren, who have jumped positions as well. And Just Gaming is down in 10th, still inside the top 10. But an Atix has been disqualified from...
He was still on the grid.
Oh, can someone send him a message quickly? Because otherwise he might cause a...
There we go.
So, oh, sorry. I'm getting towards the end of the lap. We haven't talked about tyres, Lee. So, from H. Bosworth actually started on the mediums, qualified on the mediums, starting on the mediums in 9th place. Yo-Yo, Iggy and Apex are all on the mediums. Of course, Dr. Wolfang starting in the top 10, or qualifying in the top 10, now starting outside the top 10, getting all my words mixed up, is starting at the back on the soft tyres that he used in qualifying a few moments ago. It's looking like a lovely sunny day, Lee, so I don't think there's any chance of any mixed conditions.
I'm thinking, in all honesty, I'm thinking the strategy is best for here would be to start on the softs, unless the medium runners could keep their tyres a little bit more, especially near the start on the first few laps, so that they could get that extra bit of grip when it comes to the pit stop times, so that they don't get undercut.
I don't know where my other drink is. I was quickly looking for my drink, but I don't have time to do that just yet. Iggy isn't in his car yet, so Dr. Wolfang needs to be careful at the back. We're waiting for a better camera angle, not getting it just yet. Iggy is joined again. We've got 3, 4 and 5 red lights, Lee. And we're away for Monday Night Racing here for the Japanese Grand Prix. Bugs Bunny looks like he's got an excellent start there. He's going to be alongside Vedran into turn 1. It's 3 abreast, Red Bull and Aston Martin through turn 1. And the Leclerc looks like he's going to try and take it around the outside, but gets squeezed wide by Bugs Bunny. And he's moved up a position. And we'll get the position changed up quickly. Just Gaming's moved up 3 places. Atix is down at the back and is crashed at the start of this race. Looks like he's not got any damage there. We'll get back to the front. Stinos is still leading the way, and so Just Gaming is...
Apex has spun at Dunlop.
And Apex is spun as well, so that's a bit of a battle between the two. And we're just trying to get Iggy back into the session, because it doesn't look like he is just yet, or back into his car. He keeps jumping and leaving the session. Would you message you can just say to retire his car if he can't, like...
Got
yeah. Yes, we've got Iggy in 11th, but he's not in his car at the moment. We've got Stinos, who's going to try and pull a gap from Vedran, and Bugs Bunny is going to try and keep on his coattails. We've got H. Bosworth now into the wall. Got loads of drivers struggling in this race. In the first lap, 3 drivers, have all struggled at the start there. I don't think there's any damage though for Apex as we come down to start lap 2, and Vedran has got a 7/10 gap to the driver behind. Looks like Leclerc is going to go around the outside of Bugs Bunny, and he's Tokyo drifting there, appropriate for the country. And now Anthony is round there, all struggling on this circuit, Lee, and he's out and into the wall. Dr. Wolfang is out and retired in the pits on that one. That's a bit of an odd one. Wolfang has left the session. Atix has had to pit there. Not too sure.
Something's happened with the pit lane. Oh, it's sorted now. It looked like Atix was getting held up by Wolfang's car there inside the pit, because Wolfang stopped in the middle of the pit lane somehow.
Oh. Is he still there or not? Oh, sorry,
No,
we're seeing a 3-way fight, Lee, between Anthony, H. Bosworth and Apex for the final point position. We've got Justin and Bugs Bunny side by side. Justin has got some serious pace here, Lee.
2 seconds.
Are we going to see a move, Lee? I don't think you can go anywhere, my friend, because it's going to go round the outside of 130. No, he doesn't. He might go for a move, though, into the chicane, and he thinks better of it. 2 bollards have already been removed from the apex of the start of the chicane. We're just seeing the timing screens come back as they cross the start-finish line, as DRS is now enabled. Bugs Bunny is trying to weave a little bit from from the back of Justin to break the toe. Anthony is in the pits. Looks like he's going to have a front wing change. We're just on board with Apex. There as he comes around turn 2. He's got a bit of a gap to make up, but looks like a driver has gone round, and that was Justin, who has had an instant there, and he's still in the points, so he's got Apex coming up on him rapidly, but I think he's going to be able to keep the position as long as he doesn't spin and overcook those tyres. He had a great start. He's still up at a position though from the start of this race, so it's still all to play for him, and the pack is still reasonably close together. He hasn't got too big a gap to make back up, and I said Apex is right behind him and really pushing him out of the hairpin as he looks to go round the outside. He's on the medium tyres, and they're going to come down towards Spoon Curve now. He's going to have the inside line on Justin, and Apex is going to try and make the move. There's a bit of touch in there because the curbs are so sketchy on this track, and they're still side by side on the exit of Spoons. We're going to come down towards 130R now. No DRS, just good old slipstream available as we go down towards the chicane through 130R. A little lift there from Apex. H. Bosworth is now going to be able to get involved in this fight. We are looking at the battle for 9th place, but I think this is the closest battle on track at the moment.
There is a close one for the final podium position at the moment, with Amagunar and Leclerc. They're close. Not any action up to yet. Seems like it's all to play for 9th place at the moment though.
We'll go to that battle for 3rd place. Everyone's really struggling with the curbs here, Lee.
Yeah, it does seem to be quite difficult, to be honest.
It's funny how it's hard to get out of a mindset. I mean, you would think that people would try and stay off the curbs a little bit more, just knowing how treacherous they are, but it's quite difficult when you're in that mindset. Attics gets a 3-second time penalty. There is a train of cars, Lee, and with not much separating, quite a few of them. Stinos has got a little bit of a gap. Got Attics, who's off and into the wall. Really having a terrible time of it, Lee.
Yeah, it's a bit unfortunate. Don't think he's not even got a wing. Can't see him really wanting to continue, but hopefully he does.
Yeah, of course, still all to play for. We've had all these incidents. I don't think he's going to be lapped. I'm not too sure, but he really is having a bit of a terrible race. It's quite a hard track to come back to, I suppose, if he hasn't raced for a couple of weeks. I'm not too sure. Obviously, we had a week break here, but he's only just took his full-time seat back. We're looking at the battle for 3rd place here, and Justin is round again, and he's just struggling with the curbs. All these drivers are still struggling. I think it's a lot of these drivers' first league race at Japan on this new game, and this is really the one track where the curbs are not your friend. I'm not sure if Justin's got damage. I don't think so. It's just out of the points, but I'm very surprised we haven't had a safety car yet, Lee.
Well, I mean, not a safety car, maybe VSC at most, but yeah, it has been quite a shaky race up to now.
And Warren is now round as well, and needs to be careful when he rejoins the track. He's now Apex, moves up another position, goes up into 8th place. Championship leader is now firmly into the points. 9/10 separate Amiaguna, and Warren is now lost a place to H. Bosworth as well. I'm not sure if Warren's going to have to pit. It will put Justin into the podium positions, into the points positions, Lee. So still all to play for Justin. Just got to stay off those curbs.
Yep, there's Warren coming into the pits now. Let's see what tyres are going on the medium compound. Now, they're not going to last him to the end. Oh, Justin just got a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. On the hard compound. Now he's just going for the one stop.
But of course, there is a safety car potentially. We'll have a look at the tyres quickly. Yes, the hard tyres for Justin. He said though he did get a 5-second penalty for speeding. Looks like Atix is fighting to unlap himself. It's a bit of a strange one. It is allowed, of course, but it has got to be good and proper, and you've got to have a lot more speed than the driver ahead of you. There's Justin's round again.
They just heard that there. Oh, and again. Stay off the curbs, my man. They ain't working for you. They ain't helping you. As you see the gap.
Oh, 1/10, yeah, and they're going to go side by side through turn 1. Amir gets pushed off the road there, and not sure if he was actually so much pushed, but he didn't really have very much space
Apex
to
is going
go
for a
anywhere.
running combo there to help the DRS, and he's got it done before even going into turn 1. Nice and clean there. Sorry. But, ooh, seen Armour Gunnar going a little bit wide at the first deck, and there's an exit there. Just managing to keep it on the curb though. As you see, the 2 white cars are battling it out. It's still kind of weird seeing two white cars on the track.
There was side-by-side action there between Anthony and Warren, the Alpine versus the Williams, and Warren then gets a 3-second time penalty for taking a little bit too much to the grass and curbs, as Anthony now moves up into 10th place. Yo-Yo and Bugs Bunny are also jostling for position. Not too sure where Atix is. He's quite far up the road, I think Bugs Bunny had an incident there. I'm not too sure. We got a yellow flag, but I don't think that's actually anything to worry about. 2/10 separate the two Aston Martins. 2/10 separate Leclerc and Ami Aguna, two different cars, but two white cars on the circuit. Lee, I was going to say, it looks actually rather strange with the Haas just behind him.
Oh, seems like quite slight connectivity issues there.
He's having a couple more connectivity issues there, so that might not do him any good. He's and that's obviously a worry for Amir, because he's going to want to try and make the move as clean as possible. But obviously, when your competition is lagging all the way to China, it is a bit of a concern. You've got to take extra care. There's the exact same time difference between the two battles on track as we hear Lee yawn. It is a bit of a boring one, I have to admit, but Lee didn't have to yawn. That was a little bit rude. As I'm joking. As Ami Aguna is coming around the final corner, and he is going to have DRS. It just looks like he just can't get enough. Leclerc did make a slight mistake there, made another little twitch there on the exit, as you're on board with the Haas driver. 2/10 separate the two Aston Martins. Ooh, that was very close. And seeing as Yo-Yo is a reserve tonight, you would think he would try and give his teammate a bit of an easy ride of it, but he's subbing for big.
Bunny's not going for the overtake, it seems.
But this is the problem with this track. There's only 4 places, I would say, to overtake it. Like, sort of realistically overtake. There's the hairpin, which is going to be coming up in a minute. You've got Spoon Curve, where you can do it at as well. And obviously turn 1, and I think after 130R at the hairpin, at the chicane is probably the 4th place, Leah. Don't know if you agree. I can't think of anywhere else where you can really try and overtake here.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, there is the straight going down to 130R, but then you could kind of just count that as basically the whole sector 2 near enough.
Yeah, and to say that, I think Yo-Yo might have got a poor exit there, so you might get the move done on this straight. It's a shame we can't have DRS down here. It's just because 130R is not a braking zone and too much of a tight angle for DRS to be safe, unlike tracks like Sochi where turn 1 is a much lower radius. We see Yo-Yo taking quite a few defensive lines. We'll go back towards the front. Amiyaguna gets pushed off the track again. As we see Apex move off on Bugs Bunny because he goes for the pit stop. Doesn't want to be held up by his teammate any longer. The 2 Alfa Romeos go through and he's going to come out in 9th place with quite a gap. Yellow flag. Atix is spun round there. Stinos is still in the lead. Now got a 4.5 second gap, Lee. It's exactly what you wanted. Iggy is now round as well.
Oh, Atix. Oh, he just narrowly misses the wall at the Degna 2. That was really close there. But now he's getting lapped by...
Iggy's round again. It's all kicking off on lap 10. We're not even at half distance yet. We have only lost 1 driver, but a lot of drivers have been having spins. Amir, is he going to have the bit between his teeth now, Lee? Because he's got to get this move done very shortly. Leclerc is in the pits now. This is vital. This is absolutely vital. Stinos is in the pits as well. So Amir now takes the lead. This is what Amir wants now. Amir wants a safety car right now. Would be his ideal option. Even a virtual safety car just as we get round to the pit lane would be absolutely ideal. Vedran moves down because Apex goes through. He's got Stinos just ahead of him, Lee. As we see them fly through turn 2.
I'm seeing Stinos. He's got Yo-Yo ahead of him now, who's on the old medium tyres. So I'm expecting Stinos to catch him pretty quickly with being on them fresh mediums, 10 lap fresher mediums. But if Yo-Yo going to hold them up enough for a Maguna to be able to get in?
Yeah, well, it is going to be certainly good for Amiyaguna, but is Yo-Yo's tyres just a little too old? His battle is with Leclerc, so we'll have a look to the leader. He's 22 seconds, pretty much, behind Amiyaguna, who is going to come out between the two of them, because this is the battle for 3rd place on the road after the pit stops will be complete, and he is now in the pits. Lee, we'll see what tyres he goes on to very quickly, and we're going to cut back to Leclerc to see who comes out in the lead. Of course, Haas is the penultimate pit box. I think Amir is going to get this on Leclerc, Lee. It's going to be close. It's going to be very, very close. There he goes, gets to the line, and Leclerc now just goes ahead. And that was not what Amir wanted. But he's on a lap fresher tyres. Crucially, he's got that extra lap in his pocket. He hasn't actually lost any time at all, Lee.
I mean, Leclerc's tyres are already worn up a bit now. So...
See a yellow flag. Is that Justin? Or is that Atix?
Bugs Bunny.
And Atix. So Bugs Bunny and Atix. Bugs Bunny is into the wall. Still no VSC as of yet. You're clear, Bugs Bunny, if you can hear me, because Warren is just coming up on you now. As Warren is now going to maybe potentially move up into 9th place. Just everyone is really struggling. No one is out, apart from Chris, who retired of his own accord, but no one is out of this race from an actual DNF. Yet 8/10 separate Leclerc and Amir in Apex, who's certainly gained a lot of ground. Stinos has cleared Yo-Yo in his trying to gain some momentum on the drivers behind. He does take the fastest lap as well, just as we talk about him, right on cue. There's a 6/10 between Yo-Yo and Apex. Vedran is not too far behind Amir though. I just think with that, I think Leclerc is just running a little less downforcely, and it is just really helping him.
Yeah, I mean, that's the main thing here, is if you're running that wee bit less downforce, you'll be better on the straights, but you will be slower overall on the lap. So are you going to take... Oh, Bugs Bunny's out.
Yeah, he retired in the pit lane. Shane, as I think he could have still got some points. I mean, we've still got the Justin still in this race and really trying to carry on, as we are at half distance. And Atix is now round again. He's just super struggling with the circuit. I think he must be almost 2 laps down now. We've got Amir Guna 1/10 behind Leclerc now, Lee. And those tyres are firmly up to temperature. 4/10. This is very close. And he's going to go on the attack. I really want to see a Fernando Alonso at some point tonight. If someone can give me that around the outside of 130R, that would be amazing. Leclerc, though, Lee, is going to have to go a little defensive here. He didn't force him to go defensive. He's going to have to try and get the best run out of the corner. He has got DRS to help him. Apex has just overtaken Yo-Yo, but still not close enough. Leclerc's making a few mistakes here and there, and that's the benefit, of course, Lee, about being the driver behind. You can kind of start to work out where people struggle, and they don't. Obviously, if you're ahead of the guy behind you, it's much harder to try and read where you're better than them.
Yeah, I mean, that gives you some time to assess the sort of the line that they're going to be driving, if they're going to be taking a wide line into that corner regularly, or you get to figure them out. So yeah, I do agree with you. But I was just saying, Vedran is catching Yo-Yo, and I'm thinking we might possibly see the Fernando Alonso that we've all been waiting for.
Potentially, as Vedran now powers up the hill with the RS firmly enabled. I don't think that slipstream is going to be good enough, because of course you've got a slipstream off Apex Finley ahead, who's still yet to pit. As he looks to the inside, actually, at 130, I'm now going to have the long way round, tries to leave Yo-Yo enough space. That was nice driving from Vedran. Lovely move around the outside. The chicane back to the battle between Leclerc and Amir. This is potentially a rivalry that's been building up over the races, as well as along with Apex, of course. Leclerc trying to keep a hold of this championship battle. He's only a few points behind, but he might. We're not sure what's going to happen here. Stinos is having a great race, and I think Stinos has still got time, Lee, to get into this championship fight with a few races to go, if he carries on the form he's been doing.
Oh yeah, I mean, he's been doing quite well since he joined. I mean, he's sitting out there comfortably in the lead right now, with 6 seconds in his pocket, so he has been doing quite well. As you see, Vedran's managed to catch up on Apex. Apex getting a bit of a terrible launch out the hairpin there, leading into Spoon Curve. Is he going to manage to make the move on Apex? Is he going to wait, or is he going to go for it as soon as possible?
Now this is an interesting one, Lee. Leclerc is now caught up to Yo-Yo. Is Yo-Yo going to bail this lap, next lap, to
On board with Vidrani's literally touching the rear end of Apex, right on his gearbox.
Looks to the inside.
And he's got it.
That was a great move.
Will he have... no, he's not. He's not got the DRS.
But look at the battle behind Lee, as Leclerc is going to try and go to the inside. A big lunge there, and Amir, this is not good for his race. He's going to want to try and get past. And as you can see, he's really trying to push his way through turn 2 to get a run, potentially, but there was no chance there. He was just too far behind. And this is exactly what Amir doesn't want. But of course, he doesn't want to push too hard through these corners because it could end up with a spin like we've been seeing all the way through this race so far. As he gets onto the curbs there, it was almost a commentator's curse, Lee. But you could just tell how he's now just frustrated because Leclerc has been able to hold on to this position, and arguably, I think Bugs Bunny's just left the session. Amir is arguably a little bit faster than Bugs Bunny, I think. If he was released, I think he would get away. But we've got this traffic coming up now, Lee. This is a really exciting part of the race, actually, with not back markers, but unstopped drivers, if that's even a word. People yet to pit against the people who have pit. And of course, people like Apex are not going to want to let people pass for yellow flags just like that reason, because Iggy is now round and Justin is now back into the points again. Yo-Yo is going to have to dispatch of Amir Guna. The two championship leaders are now neck and neck. We see Amir Guna go past Yo-Yo because he is now pitting. He so wished he'd pit the lap before. But this is going to give Amir Guna a chance, Lee, if Apex stays out for a few more laps.
Yeah.
He's lost a couple of seconds, which is quite a lot, but that time is already starting to come down. Anthony is in 7th place now, overtaking Yo-Yo. Iggy and Apex are the only men yet to stop. We've had Apex move up 10 places. He's going to fall back though, of course, because he is yet to have that pit stop, which should be coming up imminently. 1.4 seconds is now the gap to Leclerc from Amir Guna, Lee. So that time is really, really coming down. And it's just showing that I think Amir has just got a bit more pace than Leclerc in his pocket today.
Yeah, he's managing to catch up quite significantly.
He might be. He's going to be within DRS, I'm pretty sure. He is. There you go.
Yep. That's it now. And
right on.
Third place is on.
Well, Apex has still got a pit, but it's interesting. Is Apex going to be able to make up a huge amount of time here? As Apex is still not going to pit. This is what Amir wants. And Apex is going to fight this position. I know he is, because he's hoping for a safety car. That is why he's staying out. And Leclerc is just not going to be able to get the move done. The door's been opened, though, at turn 2, and then firmly closed by Apex. He gave him a little sniff at a move there, Lee, but he wasn't able to take that bait and get any sort of move done there. And Amir now has dropped back even more. H. Bosworth is into the pits. It's probably going to be close between him and Warren. I think probably Warren is going to get through ahead. I'm not sure, actually, because he's got to the pit exit. As he comes out now, H. Bosworth does slot in just ahead of Warren. 3/10 separate Apex and Leclerc. Amir is still just falling back a little bit. I'm not sure if he made a bit of a mistake. He must have done. Got another yellow flag there. Is that Warren? It is. Amir's got a penalty. As Leclerc is going to go for an overtake here. Apex is really squeezing him though, and he has got past before 130 up. But Apex is going to have DRS. He is going to have the DRS if he stays out.
Yeah, so that if he stays out, that is. I'm not sure.
No, he bails.
Yeah, I was thinking that was the more logical thing to do. I mean, the tyres will pretty much be done. As he's been out on them for what?
19
laps now?
laps, 18 laps. As
18 laps, sorry.
Yeah, so he's now on the softs, and we're seeing Anthony now coming around the final corner there, along with Yo-Yo just behind. Where is Apex going to come out? Is he going to come out in 5th place? He is going to come out in 5th place, Lee. So he actually hasn't lost a single position.
2-6, mate.
That's okay. He's got a load of clean air, so I'll have a conversation with myself. Apex has got clear track ahead of him. He has got 20 seconds to make up, though, which is a pretty tall order. But from the back of the grid to 5th place is a really good drive for him. But Leclerc, as it stands, I think is going to take the lead in the championship after today. So there was only 3 points, I think, that separated the top two, and he's going to get 15 points, and he's going to be leading by 2 points as it stands, not accounting for the fastest lap. But Amir is going to want to say something about that. Stinos is going to close that gap up and move himself up the standings, and I do hope he starts getting involved, because there's a few of these drivers sort of from 5th onwards, even Anthony and Bugs Bunny, who's just not had the best of races, is still right up there in this group, along with Big Weir and Tim Shapoff, who sadly said he might not be able to keep going in Monday, and we really wanted him in there for that close battle. 1.8 seconds separate Leclerc and Amir. I hope he can get back into that DRS window for another fight to come, but he is losing time. Bear with me 2 seconds, guys. We have got a yellow flag again, not sure who for. So I do hope we have Lee back soon. It's all starting to calm down a little bit, only with 12 drivers, of course, so it's not expecting such close battles. Hopefully we'll have a much better grid next week. And tomorrow, of course, we've got the USA Grand Prix, which, of course, me and Lee will be racing in. It'll be helmed by Justin, who is in 9th place. Steve will be back, of course, for that tomorrow night. Warren gets himself a 3-second time penalty, 1.6 seconds, 1.5, sort of merging around that mid 1 minute 5 seconds, 18 seconds now separates, and Apex has now got the fastest lap, so he's going to be taking 11 points as it stands to the 15. We'll just do some very quick maths. So I'm just going to have a quick look at the standings. So keep an eye on that gap. He's got down to a second with the blue flag there, I think, of Attics, and that gap is certainly getting closer again. I think Amir is on the attack, but he is going to have to gain time. But he just needs to get past to try and gain some time. There's a second now between Iggy and Warren. It looks like he's having slight connection issues. Go back and find these drivers' standings. Monday night there is 3 points separating them, so with 11 points and 15 points, Leclerc will take the lead of the championship by 1 point as it stands at the moment. 5.3 seconds separates the gap. Actually, saying that actually. Penalties. 3 seconds for Vedran. And you can see him. He's just up into the distance. And so Leclerc can see him there. And this is where Amir really wants to get involved. We've got Iggy who's round again. We've had no VSC or safety car in this race. Rather odd one, I have to admit. I'd have thought we'd have at least seen a VSC by now with the amount of spins that we've had.
Apologies about that.
And so we're on lap 22 now, Lee. And if you look at the penalties, Lee, Vedran has got a 3-second time penalty. And as you can see, Leclerc is 3.7 seconds behind Vedran. So he might be on for a second place here. Amir got within a second a lap or two ago. But it's now dropped back again. I think he just sort of tries to build an attack and then just edges off a bit and tries to come back again.
Yeah, I mean, well, we've still got 4 laps still to remain. Vedran will have to keep the foot down a bit in order to keep that gap, as we see a yellow flag in sector 1.
Leclerc is round. Leclerc has made a mistake and he's round. There was the battle for 4th, and now Apex is going to be catching up. And that is not good for Leclerc. I think he's just enough up the road. He was not to be troubled by Apex. That gap's now down to 8 seconds. And Amir might be getting on the podium. And of course, Leo was working it out. Of course, Leclerc and Apex are the top 2 drivers in the championship at the moment. And Apex has got the fastest lap, so he's going to be getting 11 points, and there's going to be 12 points for Leclerc, so Apex is still going to have the lead in the championship, I think.
I'm going to have a wee check of that and let you know. Give me 2 ticks here. Yeah, so there's a 3-point gap at the moment, so then that would put it to 2 points between them. As you see, a yellow flag in sector 1 again. Who's that?
It's Warren.
Yeah.
If you get going again, it's worthwhile to keep going. You might get yourself some points. Justin's still going. He has got 11 seconds worth of penalties, so the highest on the in the field as it stands. 6.7 separates Apex and Leclerc. Anthony is hunting down H. Bosworth, but of course he's got penalties to his name, so he doesn't really need to take the risk. I hope he takes the risk just for our benefit. We'll see some overtakes, as potentially we're going to see it now, Lee, as that rear light is flashing. He gets right under the rear wing and now goes through. There's a yellow flag again. Atix is having a really, really bad race.
Destruction of property.
Yeah, he's just done a little bit of criminal damage there.
Let's see who else is close here.
There's no one really.
Just with the move. I mean, these guys are on old tyres, old mediums. But are they softs going to hold out? I mean, nah, I think the closest probable battle is between H. Bosworth and Anthony, but Anthony's pulling away at the moment.
Yeah, and it just looks like we're going to have a calm three laps to race here. We're on lap 25 of 27. So only a few laps to go. Unfortunately, it hasn't been the best today, and it's been great for spins.
It's been a bit like a Sebastian Vettel at Ferrari impersonation session. No hate on Sebastian there.
Were you going to call him Sebastian?
No, just
That's what it sounded like.
Ooh, It's just I trip over my words a lot sometimes, hence why I'm not very good at this sort of job.
I wouldn't say that so much. So, Lee, the only crucial thing now is all of these drivers stay off those red and white curbs and don't spin out like Leclerc did a few laps ago and could have been on for a second place, and he's now going to be in fourth place and potentially goes to the lead in the championship today, but it looks like it's just slipped through his fingers. There's not going to be a Red Bull on the podium for Japan, Lee, in that white livery, which is a little bit of a shame. This is the last time this season that we're going to see. I think we're still going to have Japan for season 3, which will be coming in January, so we may see Red Bull Honda back in Japan virtually, but that will be the last time, and until they potentially come back again, maybe. I don't know, but
Stenhouse has managed to have a commanding lead this whole race. There's only been like a couple of laps he's not led.
Yeah, he's always led or net led. He's not led every single lap, but no one has challenged him for position. Vedran has come pretty close, and Vedran has got himself a good position today. Atix is round again, and he needs to be careful because he's on the racing line going ever so slowly. So that was very strange. I had a little feeling he was trying to call out a safety car then, but it's a little too late for that.
No, I think I know exactly what he's trying to do. He's trying to go for the fastest lap. He was just trying to create some distance there to Justin, so you go for the fastest lap by any money. I'm on board with him right now. Let's see what sort of time he puts in here. I'm kind of curious now. What's the time to beat at this moment in time? It's a 1:30.456. That's kind of funny. 5.6.
He's gone purple in sector 1, but he did slow down a little bit, Lee. He has got Stenhouse just behind him, and this is going to be his last lap, as he has been lapped. So you will see him cross the line before Stenhouse, but that's because he's only going to be doing 26 laps in this race. We'll see if he can snatch that fastest lap. He ain't going to get the point, but he's going to try and steal it. He's going to try and have it for himself, but the point that never was, and he's going to try and take that off Apex, which is something that Apex really wants, because he's got 11 points as it stands in 5th place, as we see a yellow flag, and Iggy is round again. But Lee, we'll go to Apex. We'll see if he grabs that fastest lap in a few seconds. But Stenhouse back again. He's run every race bar 1 so far. Oh, bar 2, actually. He didn't win. Did he win last night? I can't even remember. As Atix does take the fastest lap, but Stenhouse takes the win and takes the Japanese Grand Prix, a commanding win for the man in the McLaren. Atix gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. He isn't over, actually. He's got another lap to go. I do apologise. Sami Aguna is going to come home in 3rd place, bag himself a nice bunch of points. Apex is now down to 10 points. And he's got absolutely no battery left. I think people are trying to go fastest lap at the end, but I think Atix is going to have stolen that from these front drivers. Unless Apex can do something about it now, but I think he's a bit too late for that, as he comes home in 5th place and bags himself 10 points. That championship, Lee, he's got 1 point between it now. 1 point.
Is that? Jeez.
Yeah, because Leclerc would have got 12. He's going to get 12 points today, and Apex has now only got 10. So he gains 2 points, and there's 3 points between them. So it is very close. I do hope, Lee, that when we get to Abu Dhabi, and I know obviously we might see Lee maybe 1 or 2 more times, but we are trying to find someone else to accompany you. But Lee, I do hope you come back for Abu Dhabi at least at the end, Because if the championship, which I do hope, can you imagine if it goes to Abu Dhabi with a few points between them?
Oh yeah, everybody's just going to be going all out.
So Apex, we didn't talk about driver of the day, but I probably would give it to Apex actually. I will put it out again as I did last night for the driver of the day, but Apex, it would be my choice in that one. Stinos, of course, had a commanding race, but Iggy coming from the back and obviously having that instant at the start of quali to finish in 5th was a really good effort.
I would probably say my driver of the day would be Artex, for the simple reason being is even though he was having a terrible race, he kept on and just persevered and just kept with it. He was, I think, 3 laps down at the end, and he continued on with it, so hats off. So as you see there, we run down, we've got Stinos who was in 1st place, Vedran in 2nd, 3rd was Amagunar, Leclerc in 4th, 5th was Apex Finlay, Yo-Yo was in 6th, and 7th is Anthony, 8th H. Bosworth, Justin in 9th, Warren rounding out the top 10, and 11th was Iggy Combo, Atex in 12th, who was about 2 laps down, sorry, and then the 2 retirees, Bugs Bunny and Wolfgang.
Well, we didn't have a high rate of attrition today, Lee, as only 2 drivers did go out, so shame we only had 14, but every cloud, Lee, we did have quite a few close battles with only 12 drivers on average being on track. So, to be fair, we have had a lot worse races with more drivers than that before. Mm-hmm. Anyway, hopefully we'll give you a nice full grid tomorrow night for Justin and Steve to take over. Please make sure to like, share and subscribe to the channel, and like and comment in the video. Obviously USA tomorrow, it's a warm-up for what we're going to get at the weekend, and then we're back for Monza on Sunday, as we said last night. Thanks for everyone for watching, thanks for everyone taking part. We'll see you tomorrow. It's a goodbye from me and from Lee.
Catch you later.